Lesson 24, Section 4. This presentation will be talking about a few counting words, heis, mia, hen, which means one, and udes and medes, both of which mean none, or no one, or nothing. We're going to start by looking just at the forms of this important word. This is effectively a 3-1-3 adjective, which means that in the masculine and neuter, the forms are going to be like third declension nouns or adjectives. And in the feminine, in the middle there, we're going to see what look like first declension adjective endings. So let's start with the masculine and the neuter. As usual, with third declension adjectives, nouns, to get the stem, we're going to look at the genitive singular and drop the os. So we're going to take this hen and plug it in most of the places. And we're going to add our normal endings for the third declension here. Henas, henne, henna, etc. And for the nominative masculine, we're going to see, of course, what we see in the entry there at the top, the heis. And in the neuter nominative and accusative, we're going to see what we see again in the entry there, hen. And we don't see any plural forms, of course, for this because this is the word meaning one. For the feminine, we're going to get our stem from, again, the form we're given. This is what you'd see in the lexicon if you were to look this word up under heis. So we're going to take that me and plug it in all of the places, and we're going to add our normal first declension feminine endings after iota, rho, or epsilon. Of course, it's going to be the alphas. So mia, mias, mia, mian. And these are the forms of heis, mia, hen, one. And it's used just pretty much like we use our word one. Let's turn to udes. The word udes is the result of ude plus heis, which we just looked at, and means no or no one, nothing, none. Its meanings are numerous. We'll see how it works in practice in just a second. These are some of its more common forms. These are actually the masculine singular, feminine, and neuter forms of these. We're going to look at the first one, just the masculine, udes athanatos. Here we have an implied verb to be. This is something like no one, udes, nominative masculine singular, is immortal. No person, no human being is immortal. Let's look at a feminine form of this. Again, it's going to be ude plus the right form of heis, in this case, mia. Ude mia psuke apatneske. So in this case, we're saying not no one, because this ude mia is actually modifying psuke, which is the word for soul. So no soul dies. Literally something like not one soul dies. No soul dies. And we're going to look at the neuter form, which we've seen before actually. It's again ude plus the correct form of heis, which for the neuter singular is hen, neuter nominative, I should say. So uden, uden, uden timioteran psukes. Nothing is more precious than a soul, we might translate this as. I've rearranged the word order a little bit to show the different uses of udes a little more clearly. So this is how you'd see this word in the lexicon: udes, udemia, uden. And again, it can mean no, or no one, or nothing, or none. Have to translate it depending on the context. Uden, just by itself, can also mean not at all, or in nothing. Literally something like with respect to nothing. It's actually an accusative form. Just by itself, we're going to see other uses of this accusative. It's kind of like the comparative adverbs we've seen, which it's basically the neuter singular form is used adverbially. We see that with other words as well, and with non-comparative words too. But so sometimes you'll see uden, and it doesn't seem like it's the subject in the nominative. It doesn't seem like it's the object of anything. you might try translating it adverbially as not at all or in nothing. Last thing, medes. The word medes means the same thing as udes, same meaning, and is formed in a similar way. So instead of ude plus heis, it's me plus heis. It is used instead of udes when the meaning is more general, for example, in imperatives. And in fact, we see the same sort of distinction with just u and me. U is usually used in the indicative, me in things like imperatives, subjunctives, certain kinds of constructions where we're talking about things in general and not anything in particular. For instance, me dene pisteu ete. Trust no one. That me dene is the masculine dative, basically. It would be the same for the neuter, of course. This could be trust nothing, but we usually don't speak of trusting things, but people. And we have here the present imperative, second person plural of pisteu all. I trust, I believe. And here the form of medes is in the dative because this verb pisteu all is one of these verbs that take objects in the dative. So trust no one. We used a form of medes here instead of udes because we're not talking about anyone in particular. This is a very general directive. For the forms of heis, mia, hen, you want to look at page 54. It does have a note about udes and medes as well. Thank you very much.